In this video, we'll be visiting 10 island village seeds from Minecraft Java 1.18. These unique seeds all have awesome views of the ocean, a bunch of loot, and good places to build amazing structures, and I'll even share one of my personal favorite seeds so far, so be sure to stick around for that. In the description, you'll find the seeds that you can copy so you don't have to type them out. There are also timestamps, so feel free to skip around as well. Firstly, we'll look at some seeds which spawn you on a desert island. Starting with this one, this desert village is very sweet, and one of the structures is actually an underwater ruin that was interestingly generated on top of the village path. The island features cactus, trees for wood, as well as a bunch of sugarcane, so you can get an early start on farming these items. Be sure to check out the beautiful neighboring coral reefs, definitely one of the prettiest biomes. Across from them, you'll also find a shipwreck. Overall, this is a very sweet island village I wouldn't mind spending a few days in. This other island might be a bit rougher to survive on. This seed has pretty much everything the previous island had. Cactus, sugarcane, a large coral reef, and some shipwrecks, but it unfortunately lacks trees. Thankfully, you'll be able to find a bunch of jungle trees just a few hundred blocks away. Alternatively, you could also wait for a wandering trader, which may have a sapling trade. This seed makes for an overall challenging survival experience, but the builds you can make here would be impressive. In terms of desert island villages, those are all I managed to find, so let's move on to some abandoned villages. This seed actually has two small islands separated by a river. On the larger island, a village which seemed to be thriving is found full of cobwebs and with no inhabitants. The blacksmith still has some loot in it. There's also an underwater buried treasure very close, as well as a shipwreck, so this seed is great to kick off a survival adventure. If you're willing to go look for it, there's this really cute forested island in proximity of the village. This seed really makes you feel like you're the last survivor of the village. I also found this abandoned village seed. It was generated very close to some underwater ruins, and very close to the village's island there's another slightly larger island with acacia and oak trees. If you go out at sea, you may find a ruined portal right next to an ocean monument surprisingly close to the village. I'd love to see someone rebuild this village, as well as expand it to the second island with a bridge. I think that would look very cool. Now might be a good time to look at some seeds which have mineshafts under the villages. I found a surprising amount of those. But before we move on to those, if you're enjoying this video, then please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want more videos like this. It only takes a few clicks and it really helps me out. Alright, so this island has a small plains biome and it has two blacksmiths so you can get a bunch of loot. But it doesn't stop there. From buried treasures to underwater ruined portals, and from a nice neighboring island to a huge mineshaft, this seed is great for those who want a bit of an adventure close to home. I think the giant caves in the seed are awesome. The footage I took honestly doesn't do its size justice, and it also has a bunch of diamond ore. I really like the island for this next seed. Somehow it has managed to compact many biomes in a very small area. You can see the usual forest and plains, but you've also got a windswept hill for spruce wood and a swamp for lily pads and vines. It's almost like a mini world. The mineshaft underground is practically burned because of a lava fall, but it thankfully doesn't seem to touch any loot. Still, be mindful of the floating cave spider spawner. The next island is very small but very cute. With only a few houses and villagers, it's almost as if they just started building the village on that island. A chain of islands leads to a small savanna island as well as a large birch forest, so if those tickle your fancy, well, there you go. There's a very nice looking mineshaft underground, and connected to it, you'll be able to find a zombie spawner for easy experience. You might also be a bit distracted, as I was, by these absolutely massive caves. These caves are awesome, but trust me, you've seen nothing yet. We next have a pair of neighboring islands mainly covered in savannas, which also have forests and a plains village. Right next to them is a third island with buried treasure, a partly underwater ruined portal, and caves that make the previous seeds caves look minuscule in comparison. I mean, look at this! The ceiling's so tall! This mineshaft going through it looks like it's floating. Half of it is fully exposed. This seed is truly miner's paradise. In my opinion, this next seed really encourages exploration. Its island is very beautiful. We've once again got a savanna biome, but this time it's surrounded by stony beaches. I like the village a lot, it's very big. Near this island, you'll find some more islands with massive stone beaches, and if you go a little bit further, you'll be able to find an ocean monument. If you instead go in the opposite direction, you may find exposed underwater ruins and a few islands containing a grand total of 4 buried treasures. That's not all the seed has to offer, but I don't want to spoil everything. This seed is best experienced partially blind. And finally, the best seed I've ever covered, in my opinion, is this one. This acacia village is on the edge of a very steep cliff, and it also has an acacia blacksmith, which I'll admit I didn't even know existed before making this video. The caves under the island are very large. In fact, they're probably on par with, if not bigger, than the caves from the 8th seed. The mineshaft does go through it, but you'll have to keep your eyes peeled as it's not easy to find. Going out at sea, you'll be able to find some underwater ruins, an ocean monument, and beautiful cliff sides from the mainland. But if you thought that was all this seed had to offer, you'd be sorely mistaken. Look at this giant mushroom island. It's absolutely massive, and despite it being an extremely rare biome, there are many others in the same ocean. Near the largest mushroom island are a few other ocean monuments, and going further east you'll also find a small jungle island. On the surface there doesn't seem to be anything. You have to go underground to find what's so amazing about that island. A mineshaft going through one of the largest and most beautiful lush caves biome I've ever seen. It's almost like the lushness of the jungle extended downwards, and I fell in love with that when I first saw it. I hope you found a seed that you liked. Again, please leave a like if you did, it would really help me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, see you next time!